Hazard communication. Hazard communication Part 2. Incident, any unwanted, unplanned occurrence. Any event/occurrence which is not a part of regular process/pattern/routine. A unusual occurrence/event. Example, a worker was working on height, spanner slips from his hand and went straight to ground. Incident can be an accident or near miss. Accident, any unwanted, unplanned event which leads to injury, damage or loss. Example, the spanner which was slipped from the worker's hand hits another worker who was passing from below area. Hence/so cause injury to the worker below. Near miss, any unwanted, unplanned event that had potential to cause harm, damage or loss, but did not do so. Example, the spanner which was slipped from the worker's hand hits the ground near to a worker who was passing from below area. The spanner did not hit the worker or any other equipment, so no damage or harm was caused. Flammable, easily set on fire. Flammability is the ability of a substance to burn or ignite, causing fire. Explosive, able or likely to shatter/break violently/forcefully or burst apart. An explosive material, also called an explosive, is a reactive substance that contains a great amount of potential energy that can produce an explosion if released suddenly, usually accompanied by the production of light, heat, sound, and pressure. Combustible, able to catch fire and burn easily. Combustibility is a measure of how easily a substance will set on fire, through fire or combustion. Corrosive, tending to cause corrosion/decay/decomposition. A corrosive substance is one that will destroy and damage other substances with which it comes into contact. It can cause corrosion to metals and living tissue, skin. It causes chemical burns on contact. Toxic. Poisonous. Acting as or having the effect of a poison. Substances that cause irritation of are otherwise harmful to health, such as carcinogens and poisons. Containing or being poisonous material especially when capable of causing death or serious debilitation/exhaustion/weaken. Toxicity. The potential for a substance to be harmful to health. It is the degree to which a substance can damage an organism. Toxicity can refer to the effect on a whole organism, such as an animal, bacterium, or plant, as well as the effect on a substructure of the organism, such as a cell, cytotoxicity, or an organ such as the liver, hepatotoxicity. The toxic effect/action of a health hazard can be acute, short-term, or chronic, long-term. Acute are the health effects, quickly seen, usually after exposure to fairly high level or concentration of hazardous substance. These are immediate effects of a substance. For example, fiberglass can immediately cause itching and skin irritation. Chronic health effects are usually developed slowly. With passage of time, the minor exposure to substance show results after a long time. For example, breathing small amount of asbestos fiber will not give any trace, mean there are no acute effects. But for long time exposure, as for months and years, inhaling asbestos greatly increase chances of getting asbestos disease, such as lung cancer. Poisons are substances that cause disturbances in organisms, usually by chemical reaction or other activity on the molecular scale, when an organism absorbs a sufficient quantity. Poisons of a substance or plant, causing or capable of causing death or illness if taken into the body. Water reactive substances are dangerous when wet because they undergo a chemical reaction with water. This reaction may release a gas that is either flammable or presents a toxic health hazard. In addition, the heat generated when water contacts such materials is often enough for the item to spontaneously combust or explode. Water-reactive materials are incompatible with water. These metals are usually stored in containers with oil. Some water-reactive substances are also pyrophoric. Pyrophoric. A pyrophoric substance ignites spontaneously in air at or below 55 degrees Celsius 130 degrees Fahrenheit. E.g. iron sulfide. Pyrophoric materials are often water-reactive as well and will ignite when they contact water or humid air. They can be handled safely in atmospheres of argon or, with a few exceptions, nitrogen. Most pyrophoric fires should be extinguished with a Class D fire extinguisher for burning metals. Carcinogens, substance that is known or suspected of causing cancer. Catalyst, a substance that initiates or accelerates a chemical reaction without itself being affected by the reaction. Reactivity is the tendency of a substance to undergo chemical reaction, either by itself or with other materials, and to release energy. It is how various chemicals participate in chemical reactions when they are exposed to other substances. A chemical that reacts easily with other substances is considered highly reactive. Self-reactive and self-heating substances, they are thermally unstable liquid or solid substance liable/likely to undergo a strongly exothermic decomposition even without participation of oxygen, air. They can react with themselves under suitable conditions. Usually exposure to heat causes runaway self-reaction that can result in an explosion. Self-heating substances usually absorb oxygen from the air and undergo slow oxidation. The heat produced from this slow oxidation can cause a decomposition and fire or explosion. Compressed gas, substance that is a gas at normal pressure and room temperature but is held in a pressurized container resulting in it becoming a liquid. Irritation. Inflammation or other discomfort in a body part caused by reaction to an irritant substance. It is a state of inflammation or painful reaction to allergy or cell lining damage. A stimulus or agent which induces the state of irritation is an irritant. Irritant. Cause irritation. Substance which on immediate, prolonged, or repeated contact with normal living tissue will induce a local inflammatory reaction. Substance which is not corrosive, but causes a temporary/reversible inflammation of living tissue, such as eyes, skin, or respiratory organs, by a chemical action at the point of contact. The effects of an irritant may be acute, due to a single high-level exposure, or chronic, due to repeated low-level exposures. Irritants are typically thought of as chemical agents, for example phenol and capsaicin, but mechanical, thermal, heat, and radiative stimuli/substance, for example ultraviolet light or ionizing radiations, can also be irritants. Sensitizer, a chemical that causes a substantial/large proportion/number of exposed people or animals to develop an allergic reaction in normal tissue after repeated exposure to the chemical. The condition of being sensitized to a chemical is also called chemical hypersensitivity. Sensitizer or sensitizer may refer to chemical sensitizer, a chemical that causes allergic reaction in normal tissue after exposure. Explosive sensitizer, a chemical that promotes the rate of propagation of an explosive material. Asphyxia, asphyxiation/suffocation, a condition arising when the body is deprived/rundown of oxygen, causing unconsciousness or death. Incompatible, chemicals give an undesired chemical reaction when mixed. This usually refers to substances that will react to cause an imminent threat to health and safety through an explosion, fire, and/or formation of toxic materials. The term can also refer to an unwanted change in the physical or mechanical properties of the materials. Asphyxiant gas is a non-toxic or minimally toxic gas which reduces or displaces the normal oxygen concentration in breathing air. Breathing of oxygen-depleted air can lead to death by asphyxiation, suffocation. They are generally divided into two categories, simple and chemical. Simple asphyxiants, only displace oxygen from ambient air and have no other health effects. Chemical asphyxiant. React in the human body to interrupt either the delivery or utilization of oxygen. An agent that prevents the delivery of oxygen from the bloodstream to cells, or that disables the biochemistry of cellular respiration even in the presence of adequate oxygen levels in the blood. Chemical asphyxiants include agents such as carbon monoxide, CO, and hydrogen cyanide, HCN, hydrogen sulfide, H2S. Hypoxemia. Hypoxemia is an abnormally low level of oxygen in the blood. Organic. In the context of chemistry and materials, organic refers to a materials based on carbon, C. Additional elements that are commonly found in organic materials are hydrogen, H, nitrogen, N, oxygen, O, phosphorus, P, and sulfur, S. Organic food, natural foods, organic produce, is fruits or vegetables that have been raised without the use of pesticides or herbicides. Materials that are not organic are usually referred to as inorganic. Oxidizers, oxidant. It is a type of chemical, which a fuel requires to burn. Most types of burning on Earth use oxygen. It is a substance that has the ability to oxidize other substances, cause them to lose electrons. Common oxidizing agents are oxygen, hydrogen peroxide, and the halogens. Simply oxidizer is a substance which can be a replacement of oxygen in fire. Fire/explosion can occur when there is no oxygen, but another strong oxidizer is present, like fluorine or chlorine. Radioactive. Substances are continually producing radiation. Radioactive substance, whose nucleus of each atom is unstable and gives out nuclear radiation in the form of alpha particles, beta particles, or gamma rays. Thank you for viewing. Click subscribe for me to create new content.